The one thing that was a great victory for whoever was behind pushing COVID and the vaccines and everything that went with that, vaccine passports, you name it, was they successfully managed to implant something into the Australian culture which had never been implanted there before. And this was communal hate. The government and mainstream media managed to get a lot of Australians to hate those who didn't take the vaccine and were out there protesting against lockdowns and having questions about the removal of freedoms. And to show how well they did it, for the first time in Australian history, families didn't invite other family members to Christmas because of their medical status. And this was like socially allowed. They actually got on TV and said, what are you going to do with your unvaccinated family members this Christmas? And the people listened and did what they were told. And it makes you wonder if the real, real object they were after wasn't so much to get something into your veins, but was your heart, was to get your heart to hate your brothers, your sisters, your parents, even your children, and especially your friends. They defeated your heart, and they got hate in there now. And it's still in there now, and you know it is because so many people are terrified of revealing that they've got a vaccine injury or doubts about the vaccine because they don't want to be seen as anti-vaxxers. And anti-vaxxers doesn't mean, oh, I just don't like vaccines. Anti-vaxxers is basically the dirty Jews of pre-war Nazi Germany. You are a bad person. The government has said you're bad. The media has said you're bad. God hasn't. But the media and the politicians in that particular time overranked God. Didn't you notice the churches were all closed? The priests weren't saying anything, you know? Imagine if all the priests had come out and said, no, no, no. No matter what happens, we are going to remain human. We are going to remain the one people. We're going to get this through together no matter what people decide. No. The priests were quiet. Many of the priests were were basically not allowing the anti-vaxxers in anyway. And this is really terrifying. Even though that time has passed, and even though all the evidence is out now that COVID was not that dangerous. We actually have that evidence from a FOI, from the State Coroner of New Zealand to the Health Minister of New Zealand, where he states COVID is not that dangerous and not that transmissible. This was before the vaccines, before banning ivermectin, all that stuff. So basically they knew. They knew. So we can prove to you that the politicians and the media that coerced you to hate other family members, hate family and friends, ostracize them, knew that COVID wasn't that dangerous, knew that the anti-vaxxers were probably right. So even though now we have the evidence that we were right, we're still hated. We're still pushed out because that's what hate does. It gets into your heart. It's very hard to remove. Now we have the country sort of separated, including the freedom movement divided by Israel and Palestine. If you don't hate the Jews, you're out. If you it's basically more hate getting in for a conflict that has been going on forever, for a conflict that is very confusing, lots of questions about it, but you can't pose those questions about it because you just have to hate. And that hate is so deeply entrenched now in people's hearts that when Trump attacks Iran and all the people in Iran are dancing, all the girls are dancing, saying, thank you, you've saved us, most of the world can't see it because they've got this filter of hate over their eyes that's been placed there by the government and mainstream media, so they can't see. They can't see that maybe this is a good thing, that maybe the world is far more complicated and nuanced than just bad and good. What is happening now, one thing we know for sure, is they are trying to corrupt you. You were not born with the ability to hate. When you lay in your parents' or your guardian's arms and looked up at the world, there was no hate in you. You were taught to hate. So maybe when people say, I don't know what to do, it's so overwhelming, every day there's something new, I don't know how to fight back. Maybe one way to fight back is to not think that you're going to save Israel or save Palestine or save people from Trump, but it's to save your own heart from hate. It's to look into your own heart at the hatreds you have, the hatreds they've placed there, the hatred that makes you call up a relative and say you can't come to Christmas. And before COVID, Christmas Day in Australia was a homage to love, not really to Jesus and the birth of Jesus, not to Santa Claus, which we found out was created by Coca-Cola, but to love. You came there because you were a family or friends and you wanted to come together and just try have one good day out of a communal prayer to love. That was a good thing. Even though it wasn't always a great day, it was still a good thing to try and achieve that. Now, of course, it's the other way. They gave us permission to hate, and hate defeated love on those first few Christmases. So if you are out there now and you're still hating anti-vaxxers, or you still got to distance up because, you hate this or you hate that, you hate this, maybe you need some time with a spiritual mirror and asking yourself, do you really hate? Or have you been taught to hate? Because the one thing about the heart is that when it comes to these issues, it's repairable. And there's a cure. It starts with you. You have to forgive yourself. And then you have to go out and try build bridges to those you hated without any real meaning to hate them. You just hated them because you were taught to hate. It's time to go to the University of Love. And if you can reach the end of your life and your heart is free of bitterness and hate, then you will go to the grave victorious.